Kroning's heart. His transplant was one of the earliest. Today, at 48, he's one of the oldest living heart recipients. Think that's enough of an accomplishment? Stacey Brotzel reports tonight, he's not nearly done yet.
This is a man who never says die.
I will not accept defeat or losing to anyone or anything unless it's absolutely impossible.
Some might have said surviving 22 years with someone else's heart was impossible. Add to that, Dwight Kroning is training to be the first heart recipient to finish, get this, an Ironman competition.
This has been probably a lifetime objective, at least since the transplant, is that I've wanted to, in the back of my mind, I've wanted to be able to do something like this.
Kroning met his coach, Ken Reese, a few years back when Reese was researching how hard heart transplant patients could work out.
Since working with Dwight, I've been doing a lot of research into finding just how fit transplant recipients are. Dwight is by far the exception to the rule. His physical capacity is that of an elite athlete, whereas we find that most transplant, especially heart transplant recipients, their physical capacity is well below that of a sedentary individual.
Kroning has been training about 3 years for this summer's Ironman. It's been a long road because, face it, it's a long race. And not everybody thinks he should be dreaming this big.
Some of the people that I talk to would say, if I'm building a fence or I'm doing some sort of physical work, they're saying, well, should you really be doing that? And they're quite surprised that I was actually doing that. Maybe they should get out the jumper paddles or the, just in case.
Kroning's wife also isn't sold.
Stresses her out. And she's seen me when I finished the half Ironman and how dead I was then, and she thinks, no, it just doesn't make sense. And yet, I guess it's my personality type. I need to be able to do something like this to prove it. What can I look to that will provide the inspiration that will keep me motivated? That's what I have to ask.
He wants to prove it to himself, but more importantly, to others. Kroning is telling his story to these fitness students. He wants people to know that anyone, whether you've had a transplant or not, can achieve this level of fitness.
You don't have to settle for a life that's rather stagnant or sedentary.
Kroning doesn't expect to finish first at this August Penticton Ironman. He just wants to achieve a time